everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my Kindle Unlimited update video. So I try to film one of these every couple of months when I have read a decent number of books on KU, so I can share with you what I have read and returned, and then I share what is currently on my TBR. Now I'm in the middle of the Read What You Own challenge, so I had two challenges for the months of January, February and March. One was to reduce my physical TBR, the other was to reduce my Kindle Unlimited TBR. So I don't have as many books on my to read list at the moment as I would normally have, but the ones that are on there are ones that I want to try and get through in the next couple of months, and I'm prioritizing them by not adding to the list. We're going to kick off with the books that I have read and returned, starting off with A Bump in Boohail by Kimberly Lemming. This is a slice of life prank war Halloween novella that is set in her Mead Realm series. It was really fun, it was really short, and it was just nice to revisit these characters again, including getting a look at sort of some of the demon dragon hoarding tendencies of the male love interest in the story. I also read Hollow's Grove by Jacquot, which is Holy Nights, I want to say book 4, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it's not the first book in the series, but it is the Halloween novella in that series, and this one is a best friends brother romance. They are sort of antagonists to lovers, and both the main characters are helping to run a murder mystery party at an old mansion on Halloween, and things get very, very steamy. It is very good. This was one of my favourite novellas that I read. I think I must have read it at the end of October, and it was great. I also read Power by Margaret McHeyzer. This is an Australian author, and this is a contemporary forbidden romance between the widowed President of the United States and a single mother who is a high-end escort. I also read Tic-Tac-Mistletoe by N.R. Walker. This is an small town romance about an Australian who ends up crashing his car into a snowbank because he's never driven in a snowstorm before, and ends up being rescued by one of the local men and is then snowed in with him just before the holidays. And it was very, very sweet. There were so many Schitt's Creek references and Chris Evans references that made this easily one of my favourite reads of December. The second book in that same series, which are only loosely connected by the town that these characters are in, is Christmas Wishlist. Again, this is an small town romance, and this time we're following a divorced father who is opening his own B&B in town, and it's his relationship with the expat Australian who he has hired as his chef for the holiday season. This was really sweet. I loved getting to know all of the characters who came to stay at the B&B over the holidays, as well as the main characters' kids who also came to visit. It was just very enjoyable. I also read A Kiss for Santa by Monroe. This is another romance. This time it is between Santa and the man who he has watched over for basically his entire life, and it was very cool and just a very nice short Christmas novella. There is Sex Toy Soldier by Katrina Jackson. This one is not necessarily a romance, more of an erotic story because there's no HEA or HFN, although there is hints that it could lead into that if there was another story. This is an erotic novella about a woman whose best friend gifts her some edibles and some Christmas ornaments for the holiday season, and while she is high, the Christmas ornaments come to life. So very short, very steamy, and just kind of out there, but Katrina Jackson's books never disappoint. There is also Rammed by the Reviews by Leonard Delaney. This one is entirely Izzy's fault. I would like to scrub my brain of this book, but hey, it's on here anyway. So this is a very weird story about an author who's written a book and who every time they get a review, they add to the story, and it becomes just very, very weird. That's all I can say. It's bizarre. I also read the first 7 volumes of LDK by Ayu Watanabe, which is a manga, and this is about a girl who's in high school who is living on her own in an apartment and realizes that the most popular boy in her school has moved in next door to her. And through a series of crazy coincidences, he ends up having to move in with her and they have to live together. This is very sweet. I loved the artwork in this one, and it was just very compulsively readable. There is also Powerful by Kathleen Kelly, another Australian author. This one is a small town second chance romance between high school sweethearts who went in separate directions after high school, as one pursued a career in acting and became quite famous, and the other became an author. And the female main character experienced a few things in her past which have left her reluctant to start a new relationship, so be aware of that and check content warnings if you need them. There's also Christmas on the 13th Floor by Lee Jacquot, which is the first book in the same series as Hollow's Grove. This one I did not enjoy as much as the other one. It was still fine, like there was nothing wrong with it. It just didn't really appeal to me. This is the relationship between a personal assistant and her boss during the staff Christmas party. I also read Lovelight Farms by BK Borison, which is a friends to lovers fake dating situation in order to save a Christmas tree farm. There was Sap and Spile by Vera Valentine, which is a woman who inherits a maple tree farm and ends up in a relationship with the two magical tree men who also are the caretakers of that same farm. There was Striker by Anna Hackett, which is the third book in the Sentinel Security series. This one is about Hadley, who is one of the female members of Sentinel Security, and she has to go undercover in a UK company that develops safety gear for the military. She is forced to work with the ex-SAS / billionaire who runs the company in order to find out who is stealing the technology from his company. This one was very steamy. I love Hadley. She is an awesome character. There's also Headstrong by Eden Finley. This one is part of Vino and Veritas, which was a series written by multiple authors, and you have a college-age hockey player who is recently out and proud about it and is looking for a relationship. He wants to explore that part of himself, and he ends up meeting this bartender who doesn't think that he's queer in any way, but the two become really fast friends, and the bartender ends up discovering that maybe the way that he was thinking about his sexuality was not as clear-cut as he once thought. I also read Shameless Puckboy by Eden Finley and Saxon James. This is the next book in the Puckboys series, and this one is an hockey romance between a notorious Playboy player and the PR manager who has to try and rein him in. There is the Evelyn Maynard trilogy by Cadence Snow. This is a more new adult style sci-fi paranormal romance about a world where you have humans and then humans called variants who have abilities, and our main character Evelyn is a vital, which means she's like a supercharging battery for variants, and when she discovers this she also finds out that she is bonded to 4 variants, and this is a why choose polyamorous sort of relationship where they all have to work through how they all feel about that, and it was a fun time. There's also Bound in Sin by Mae Pierce, which was again not a novella that I particularly enjoyed for myself, but might be of interest to people who enjoy monster romances. It is about a succubus, an incubus, a demon, and a priest, and it's very steamy. And then there is also Killing Sarai by J.A. Redmersky, which is a dark romance, but it's like the first part of the romance, so you don't get the HEA or the HFN in this one, about an assassin who unintentionally frees a woman who is being held captive by a drug cartel lord. All right, so that's what I've read and returned. The books that I have currently borrowed out are In a Jam by Kate Canterbury, because it's Kate Canterbury and I've heard really great things about this particular book, so I'm excited to get to it. Hat Trick Heart by Ella Market, which is a contemporary why choose hockey romance. There is Lords and the Mafia by Alira Anaya Serres, which is the follow-up to Queenie and the Kraken. So I'm very intrigued to try this because I really liked Lords as a side character in the first book. There is Come As You Are by Jess K. Hardy, which was recommended as a Gen X romance, so older main characters, and I'm very intrigued by that. That's all I know about it so far. There is In the Weeds by BK Borison, which is the follow-up to Lovelight Farms, and I would really like to read this one because the setup for this relationship, which I think is a second chance romance, sounded delightful. I also have Beauty and the Baller by Ilsa Madden Mills, which is a book that was on my 2022 anticipated releases. I never read it, and then I kept seeing it on TikTok. So I'm going to try it because it's a sports romance, but it is a football romance, and I'm just going to try it. There is Runaway Road by Devney Perry, which I don't know anything about. I can't even remember how I put it on my TBR, but it's there and we're going to try it. I think it's small town romance. That might be why it ended up on my list. And also How to Not Date a Demon by Lana Cole, which I'm pretty sure I just picked up because of the title, because why wouldn't I? All right, so that is my Kindle Unlimited update. I will leave all the books listed down below so you can check them out if you are interested. In the comments, I'd love to know if you have read any of these books or if you're planning on picking any of them up, or what is on your Kindle Unlimited TBR that you are very excited to get to soon. I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.